Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you happen to be joining us for the July edition of 3Squares. We are thrilled you are here. I'm Charlie Arnott with Look East and the Center for Food Integrity, doing our very best to keep the food system trustworthy. And as always, I'm pleased to be joined by co-hosts Susan Schwally and Kevin Ryan.
And I'm Susan Schwally. I hung out my consulting shingle, taking my 30 years of insights experience to help associations, companies, and suppliers bring to life strategic insights.
And I'm Kevin Ryan with Malachite Strategy and Research, helping retailers and consumer packaged goods with strategy and innovation at the front end of the process. Well, I said
Excellent.
that in a very
You did. That's
That's not
okay.
your normal, Kevin. Usually
English,
I
it's
know.
rattle.
I thought
English
I
is
was
your
going to
second
change it up.
language, Kevin. We
Shouldn't
understand that.
change
Don't
it
worry
up.
about
I
it.
shouldn't
Yeah.
Usually
change
I'm
it
the
up.
one that has a different intro every time.
I shouldn't. I shouldn't change it up. That always leads to bad
Very
things.
confusing. Very confusing. All right. So today, Kevin's most recent, again, let's be redundant, Kevin's recent edition of Foodstuffs, which if you're not following on Substack, you should, talks about something that's going to be really, really important and a bit provocative, the end of supermarkets as we know them. I was stunned by some of that, but you make a really good case for it. And then kind of what we're going to see in terms of some of the important changes. But one of the things that jumped out to me, I had not seen the AP graph that really, really demonstrated the impact of food inflation, 33% from 2019 to 2026. But the way you were able to connect that to the end of commercial or traditional grocery stores as we know it, I thought was really, really interesting. So we'll kick off with that today. And Kevin, if you want to, Susan says she has lots of thoughts, which is good because I'm not
Yeah.
sure I have many. So if you want to kick us off and get started, we will launch.
Yeah, I mean, so my basic argument is that every time that we go through some significant, inflationary or recessional type of things, depression, there's always a change in how consumers operate within the retail space. So, I make the claim in my post about, I could go all the way back to the Black Plague, which I kind of could. There is some evidence to show that how people shop change,
That
but
made me laugh.
It did.
there is, I mean, when you take out almost like half the population, it changes the way people shop. But the idea being that even during the Great Depression brought us the supermarket that we know today. So King Cullen, if you're familiar with, that was the original grocery store, and it really did set the mind for people as people had to live through the Great Depression. The idea that I don't go to, like, the Little House on the Prairie dry goods store anymore, that I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the supermarket, I'm going to push my cart, I'm going to choose my stuff. You see this type of change happen, and I think we're already seeing the beginning of it, in the sense, and we've been seeing the beginning of it since, like, the last 20 years, as people have been circuit shopping. They don't just get everything at the main grocery store. They go to a dollar store and a C store and a club store and all that kind of stuff. I predict that, as we see more economic tension, I think that we'll see what I call the unbundling. Right now,
Mhm.
people still buy most of their groceries at grocery stores. And I think that what you'll see is all of and I put it into different layers, the idea that there's like the infrastructure, which is like the staples, the foundation, how people will get those. I think for some, especially for higher income, you'll see them get through it through like auto replenishment, e-com or click and collect kind of stuff. Don't think about it kind of stuff. I don't want to think about it. It's
It
easy,
just
it's
shows
cheap,
up.
it just shows up. And however you get that, there'll be other ways. It could be, and I talk about in the piece too about nano and micro fulfillment. But then I think there's the curation part, the part of I want to check, I want to know. And Susan and Charlie and I have had many conversations about what's the best color of banana and the type of banana. People want to choose these things. They want to look at these things. You cannot deliver these
My
things.
Susan
Meyer
and I are
divides
right, and
them.
you're wrong, but that's
They
okay.
Yes.
divide them on color of banana for you.
Yes.
True. They do.
Yes. I still think people don't. They get upset. They want to choose it. And I mean, think about a steak. People want to choose their own. They want to see the marbling, all that kind of stuff. So that will continue to survive. So I think that will be there as well. And as well
Hang
as,
on. Before you, there was a particular line in the curation and entertainment that I thought
mm,
was really interesting in the juxtaposition between the current model, where you talk about competitive advantage isn't distribution muscle or shelf space, it's speed to market, cultural relevance and postability. I thought that was really interesting. And the fact that
Yeah.
an 18-month stage gate innovation process can't get there, right? It doesn't allow you to get speed to market and capture
Yeah.
that moment, the zeitgeist that we're in at this moment, because it changes so quickly. So, talk a little more
Yeah.
about that because I think that's
So,
really interesting. And the postability piece
yes.
is obvious once you mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the trendiness aspect of it. I mean, the culture of how fast flavor trends, texture trends, all that kind of stuff are happening. I mean, you can see mainstream brands trying to get it now by doing LTOs. You see them trying as hard as possible, which is a smart way to do it. But then you see more insurgent brands doing it faster and some ways better with their ability to be a lot more flexible. They don't have the capital that they have to, utilize. So I think that being more on trend, more sticky in their advertisement, whether it's postable and all that kind of stuff, that is a muscle that I
Yeah.
think a lot of big CPG need
Well,
to do. So go ahead,
what do
Susan.
you think about putting that on, because social media shopping, social
Hmm.
media
Yeah,
e-commerce is small,
yeah, it
but it
is.
is growing. And
Yeah.
so, I think a lot of that is probably influencers or smaller, but I mean, what's the opportunity for large retailers to start doing that to capture that speed to market? I don't think they're currently doing it, but I could be wrong about it. I mean, to me,
No.
that's a whole different new channel
Yeah.
that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, you see TikTok Shop, to your point,
Hmm.
that's more influencers, but TikTok Shop is, I mean, PepsiCo launched through TikTok Shop,
Okay, they
some of
did.
their flavors. Yeah. So
Hmm.
they're starting, but yeah, I haven't seen Walmart, like just an example of what they could do. Walmart or Kroger through an Instagram channel or through an Instagram, collaboration, allow you to shop via picture or something where you can, you know what I mean? You can do that, or via, like, if an influencer shows something that's available currently at Walmart, you could click on the picture and then get it directly into your shopping cart and then either pick it
Mm.
up or have it delivered. I don't know if I mean, that kind of technology exists. I'm not sure how advanced it is from a retailer, but yeah, you can totally see that happening, more mainstream as people do that. So, yeah.
I wanted to pick your brain on about this because like Charlie, I loved how you started out saying, not back to the plague, but to King Cullen,
Yeah.
how, you didn't go to the person and say, pick it off the shelf for me. You started shopping and then all those iterations. And thinking about this in reference to inflation, which is so high right now, I struggle to think about any kind of structure that's going to overcome that for the consumer.
Mm.
But what is the mix of, through the evolution, savings for the consumer, but also for the retailer? To me, this is driven
Yeah.
by
Mm.
savings on both and also convenience. Now, we've argued all day long about the convenience of self-checkout.
Hmm.
I think it's convenient. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys do,
Me
but
too.
I mean, to me, it's a mix of those things. And I'm just, this new level of food inflation is not going to go away. And I, it's hard to imagine that, at least in the short term, there's going to be a structure that's going to really
Yeah.
change that dramatically. And maybe you're not claiming that. I'm just
I
thinking.
no, I think you're absolutely right. I think that the structure that will go forward will be the one that at least provides savings to the retailer. That will be the one they push,
Hmm.
which is why I think click and collect actually is the one that actually seems to be striving the most, because it's expensive to send stuff to people's houses. Even if you
Yes.
supplement it and try to get people, to really like it and say, oh, it only costs
Subscribe
a
and whatever.
flat.
Right.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
click and collect is definitely there. That's why I think the infrastructure one, even though it seems like, I don't know, are people going to do that? That one actually to me really does make sense, because think of it like this. I don't even have to pull it out of my back warehouse. Or I don't have to put it on shelf. I don't have to um, uh, put it in particular packaging. I
Hmm.
could send it directly to you, or I could just put it into your bag, and it doesn't need to be, put on the shelf. It doesn't, there's a lot of
Right.
savings from a retailer
It
perspective
is.
to how do I get it's basically going back to the dry goods store. If you think
Hmm.
about it, it's really the idea that it goes directly from a shipper into a bag into the house, and there is not any shelfability, shopability needed there because I know what it is. And also, I should add, for the retailer, there's a really good argument there for swapping with private label.
Yeah, we have 7 grocery stores within a mile and a half of our house.
Mm,
And so it's interesting as I was going through this to look at how many of them are doing something similar. And when you get to the next one on fresh and sensory,
yeah.
I would say Sprouts is probably, I mean, they do have dry goods, but they're over to the side,
Yeah,
right?
they're
They're
not
they're they're
focused.
they're not the middle of the store. They're clear over to the side, and their produce and their bakery and the rest
Yeah,
of that is taking up all of the store footprint
yeah,
because that's what they're featuring. But that is also a bit what you're referencing here. I don't want to foreshadow too much, but
no,
I thought it was an interesting illustration to think about those 7 different grocery stores and how many of them are leaning in this direction. Then we have a small regional one, Fairway, that really they've got a really high-end fresh meat counter, and that's
yeah,
their claim to fame. And everything else in the middle of the store is at least 10%, if not 20% more than you would pay anywhere else.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you ask people, and I'm sure all of us have had this conversation with consumers before about what do you like grocery shopping? Even for people that say they like grocery shopping, picking up a box of dry goods is not
Right.
what they're talking about. They're talking about shopping the deli case, they're talking about the produce, they're talking about the meat, they're talking about the flowers, they're talking about that kind of stuff. Picking up canned goods is not exciting. You know what I mean? It's
No.
just a chore. So I think
Well,
that
that because they don't talk to people in the store.
well, maybe
I've had
that's what it
great
is.
conversations in the
They
canned
need
goods aisle.
your conversations by the canned peas.
There you
That's the
go.
Okay,
big,
so I want to get your opinion on this because I might come off as a control freak, but I never had good luck with auto replenish on anything. Like I don't know if
mm,
I'm a sporadic user of things and I don't have a lot of space to have stuff pile up.
yeah,
So that's one thing. There's going to people with different mindsets. For other folks, it's going to work beautifully, right? The other piece of this is how confident are you going to be you're actually getting the deal,
hmm,
right? It sits on
yeah,
auto replenish. Like
yeah.
and I think about my husband, sample of one. Charlie, I'm sorry, Costco is like 45 minutes for me, so it's not on the dance
Still
card
worth
all the
it.
time.
Still worth it.
I know. When we stop house projects, I'll have free time to do it. My husband loves to go to Sam's Club
Mhm.
because it's the hunt. And it's
Yeah,
like he feels like the value. And he goes there and buys the giant thing of toilet paper that's private label.
yeah,
Mhm.
Um, so, and it's all in one thing. Like, I don't know how many things I'd want to manage, although I guess we're going to 5 different stores. So I just feel like there's like different psyches that would have to be
yeah.
taken into account.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think there are different psyches. The other thing, though, I think we're in early days of auto replenishment. I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
Amazon and the way Amazon originally,
Mhm.
they went through what was it called? The button that you would
Yes.
push that they got rid of. So they're playing around. And then there was actually a little shelf that once you took the last roll of toilet paper off of, it would
Uh,
automatically order, if you remember that.
Yeah.
I think the next level is AI. If you
mhm.
have AI in your fridge or AI in whatever, or something that you can, that knows what you've got in the house, that would stop you know, I haven't been eating these snack bars, but all of a sudden I've got another box coming, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to
Mhm.
shut this off,
Right.
kind of
Right.
thing. So again, I think we're early to this idea,
Right.
but I do
But I
think
think
that
you hit
for
the
the
nail on the head earlier, Kevin, when you
yeah,
said people who are affluent are willing to pay for convenience,
yes,
right? You'll pay money to get time. You'll buy time
that's right.
back into your day if you
Yep.
have the ability to do that. Not
Yep.
everyone does, but I think
No.
if you look at the various options, people are more than willing to buy time. And if this is one way to do that, I think we're going to continue to see, again, whether it's the K-shaped economy or whatever, but clearly
Yeah.
I do think that auto replenishment, to your point, if it becomes more refined where it isn't just dumping stuff on your porch that you don't want,
Yeah.
I think there will continue to see growth in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, I mean, even if we don't see this auto replenishment grow big and all this kind of stuff, I do think that inflation and money and economy will do what it's always done throughout the history, and that is start to unbundle grocery because you're already
Mm.
seeing people shop around. And I think that
Mhm.
you'll start to see grocery. lose its main dominance as like the main place that you get stuff as people look around for deals. And that goes, Susan, to your thing about different mindsets, because I think different mindsets are shopping around maybe for different reasons, but I think that you're
Hmm.
just seeing this unbundling, and some of it will go to
Hmm.
auto replenishment, some of it will go to your husband going to Sam's and looking around, and some of it, but I do think that it just means, which will, the knock-on effect, cause grocers to be even more proactive about trying, how do I,
Differentiate.
yeah, how do I differentiate? How do I gather more? How do I lock people
Yeah.
in? So there's going to be some interesting
Like
things that are happening. Yeah.
Publix, or what's the other? Oh, the East Coast,
Wegmans.
Wegmans. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a destination. It's like the
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
steak that,
Yeah.
yeah.
you just spoke
HEB
about.
is too. Yeah.
HEB. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I think we're going to see some real movement here in the near future as
So you think that there's going to be any chains going out? What's the how are these grocery retailers performing?
I
It's
mean,
low margin business.
it's a very low margin business. The fact that we have been seeing so many, could we come together? Could we not come together? All that kind of stuff
Mm,
speaks to
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
how on
yeah,
edge. I mean,
Yeah.
you see that with the airline industry, United saying, hey, we offer to Delta.
yeah.
Hey, we
Again,
offer to
very,
this,
very,
American.
very low margin businesses have to
Ex-
consolidate.
Market
Right? It
And
makes
research.
that's another example. Airlines, another example of like, how
Yeah.
do we offer these benefits or these benefits, or what are we going
Yeah.
to do? I mean, did you see Delta now is going to allow you to bet on board? You're going to be able to do like
Really?
betting on board on the behind, I don't know if it's on the screen or on your phone, but I mean, that's another
not
example of
not
like,
playing the mindless blackjack that people do on
no,
their screen, but actually placing
betting.
bets.
Yeah, actually
This
placing bets.
wouldn't have
A
improved my last
gambling airline,
experience.
yeah,
Gambling, yeah. But
that's
I mean, that's a great example of how when this tension happens, we have to differentiate because we're starting to see, this kind of stuff happening, people shopping
all right.
around.
Let's transition to fresh and sensory layer number three and
Yeah.
talk about the center aisle becoming the appendix of the grocery store.
Yeah. I mean, a way to think about it is that like I said, the part that I like to shop at is the produce, the meat, and the dairy. What you could see, and Walmart's playing around with this, other places have played around with this, of having this. Basically, if you think of a Walmart superstore, two-thirds of it would be dark,
Uh-huh.
right? And then
Mhm.
one-third would just be fresh. And you shop there, and by the time you get done, you could have all of your dry goods already, there for you, and
Gathered
you've
for
done
you.
the
Yeah.
part that you like. So you can see that kind of coming to, because I get rid of the part I don't like to shop and get the part I do like to shop at, and it's available. I can take it all with me when I'm done. So you can definitely see that as a potential, and
Yeah,
as long as,
but I think the sensory experience was to me what really jumped out. Last week
yes,
I was in Europe and I went to both Lidl and Aldi because I like to go to grocery stores
mm,
wherever I am. Went early in the day,
yeah,
and in both of them, as soon as the doors opened, you could smell the bakery.
yeah,
You could smell
Mm.
the fresh
Mhm.
bread the moment you came in. Now,
yeah,
no one's going to confuse Lidl or Aldi for high-end retail.
yeah,
But what a great sensory experience as you walk in there to sort through the cardboard boxes to pick up whatever else you want,
yeah,
smell the bread, and it just immediately changes your perception about the experience. It's not, oh God,
absolutely,
I got to go
Mhm.
here again. It's like,
Mhm.
this is wonderful. And you go
yeah,
back and you see people picking through the baked goods and you can see the, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah,
I had no place to take bread and I wanted to buy a loaf
right.
because it smelled so good.
Well, every time I
Mhm.
go into a French supermarket, you smell
Mhm.
cheese when you
Yeah,
walk in.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
so strong. I
yeah.
don't know if French people recognize that, that's like not what Americans smell when they go into
No.
a grocery store. It's like super strong with cheese. So yeah, you're right. I
Well, but
mean,
I was not, I mean, Lidl and Aldi,
yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't in Marks and Spencer or Tesco. It was Lidl
yeah,
and Aldi.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
really not expecting that because the rest of the store is unremarkable in every way.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing that draws people in, right? It's
Right.
the thing that draws people in. And again, I think we're going back to, and that's really what the supermarket is the supermarket has kind of been divided, but still in one place. You have your butchers, you have your bakery, and it literally, like you used to be able to go to a bakery and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
but you'll
Right.
see that that's the destination. That's the destination.
So can I something that struck with me about this is okay, first of all, I like the center store.
Mm,
I'm weird. But again, it might be my controlling nature. I want to be able to shop and I like the specificity. I do get overwhelmed by too much, but
Mm,
I want to get the size, the ingredient, like the specific
yeah.
thing I want. And I struggle with that online. I
Mm,
Mm.
find it a little bit harder. So, one of the things I think has to be balanced, and AI probably is going to start dictating a lot of this, that has its
yeah.
own issues,
Yeah.
is how do you on the screen, which I know we're already struggling with this, see the shelf set and really get what you want? And how do you see things? Because so much, I mean, research will tell you people are inspired by or learn about things in store, even more
Hmm.
than social media or online. I was just looking at this, it's
Yeah.
in store.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like social media and things could pop up and notify me, but I guess I'm just very visual and not having that in store.
Yeah.
It would be a transition. Maybe younger generations,
I was going
Kevin.
to say,
Everybody's
is
going to
there a
react
generational split
differently.
in that data,
I
Susan, in
bet there
terms
is
of
a
where people
generational
live? Yeah.
split.
Yeah. I'm sure there is. I don't have it top of mind, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that that's a UI question, like how do we make it better? I mean, some people are playing around with, the infinite aisle online and how you can do it, but to your point, it's not very good. And then other players, I mean, Amazon recently at Whole Foods had it was a Whole Foods play to try to get people, but they had, the screen in the aisle where you could choose products that weren't traditionally at Whole Foods, but fit in that category.
Mm,
So you could get Coca-Cola at Whole Foods, but through the
different deal store.
screen, and it would be
Mhm.
delivered, but next to the organic beverages. So
Interesting.
there's a hybrid approach as well.
Mhm.
So there's a possibility that you walk into this fresh and sensory store where it's all produce and meat and stuff, but then
Mhm.
there's a kiosk of like swipeable. I'm choosing my
Good
dry
stuff.
goods at I don't know,
Yeah.
who knows, but
Oh, that'd be nice.
yeah.
My issue with click and collect is I frequently don't get what I ordered, right?
Mm.
Yep.
And they'll be like, "I'm out of it, but I didn't find any replacement. You're just short."
What's
That's like,
hilarious is when they do replace and it's like not even close to a good replacement.
yeah. See, I mean, it's the unreliability of it, and I think
Yeah,
that's where I would be much more comfortable with AI and robotics
right.
than somebody not being paid good wages to go through and dump a bunch of things into somebody's basket.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
Like
think
folks
that.
don't text you?
Oh, well, sometimes they do, or sometimes they didn't. I mean, in this particular, they're like, we're going to find a replacement. I'm like, well, okay, this is fairly generic. That's fine. No replacement, right? So big
Oh,
order
yeah.
coming into Thanksgiving, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
nothing there. So I had to make another. The whole point of it was to not have to go to the darn
Road trip.
store,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, so no, I gotta go for a holiday in particular. I gotta go to the store. Okay, so I just must be a weirdo.
No, 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 I think you're right. I mean, especially for a holiday, you have a need to
There's an
get it.
emotional need you're
There's
fulfilling.
I'm more talking. I mean, I think the biggest thing, of course, will be everyday fill-ins
Everyday
where
stuff.
most of it,
Yeah.
how much of your normal grocery shopping trip is the same as the previous is cut and paste? I think quite for most people, it's a lot. It's like
Not
80%,
for
I
us.
think.
But
There's
then we have enough
yeah,
paper goods in the basement to last until the end days.
Right.
So Susan, if you
exactly.
run short, let me know and I'll send you a
I,
roll.
you know what? If we get supply chain on toilet paper again, like if the Strait of Hormuz never opens, I
Yeah.
will, you can ship it up to me from KC.
Okay, all
I,
good.
I do, Kevin, to your point, there are staples
Yeah.
that I would be more likely to have auto replenish on some food items than my dry goods
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
because
sure.
I can put the giant Sam's Club toilet paper thing that my husband felt so excited about. Like breakfast with my teen and my husband, just keep sending me Kellogg's Homestyle waffles, brown and served sausage, and Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches.
Right.
By the way, I don't
Right.
condone that breakfast, but just keep sending it because how many times am I literally just going into Meyer to buy that?
Yep.
That I could auto replenish some things
Yeah.
more readily.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to transition to our quiz with Quizmaster Kevin. I didn't cue up the music this
Uh-oh.
Oh,
time.
Charlie.
Uh-oh.
I know I
Maybe you could hum it
slipped.
for us.
Maybe I could. Da, 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 da. But if you've not yet subscribed, this is a really, really interesting. Well, they're all really interesting, but this edition was great because uh, the logic that leads up to the potential significant shift in the way that we shop and the end of supermarkets as we know them is makes perfect sense once you see it put together. So, Kevin, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And now it is time to transition to the quiz with Quizmaster Kevin Ryan.
Yes.
that was good. That was
We
better
did have the
than the
music, but
that was
yeah.
better than the music. That was better than the
I
music.
think so,
All
yeah.
All
right.
right, there is no theme on this one. I don't. I just.
Grab
Sometimes
bag?
yeah. Sometimes I get really creative and I like
A
have a theme, and then
potpourri.
it is a potpourri
Ooh, a
of different ones.
potpourri.
So okay,
Potpourri for
question one.
200.
Question
Question
one.
one. These are just kind of interesting things. Question one. What vegetable is the only commodity specifically banned from futures trading on U.S. exchanges, and why? Why? What vegetable is the only commodity specifically banned from futures trading? Is it garlic? Because after a Soviet-backed trading syndicate attempted to monopolize U.S. dried garlic market in 1982, Congress passed the Allium Trade Protection Act to prevent foreign market manipulation. So you cannot
Oh
trade
my God.
garlic. Is it B,
What?
onions? After two traders cornered the Chicago Mercantile Exchange onion market in the 1950s so aggressively that a 50-pound bag of onions became worth less than the bag itself, leading
Mm.
Congress to pass the Onion Futures Act of 1958? Is it potatoes? After the 1976 Maine potato futures defaulted on the New York Mercantile Exchange when traders sold contracts for millions of pounds of potatoes that didn't even exist, triggering a congressional ban on all potato futures, with one congressman saying the potato is the bedrock of the American dinner plate and must be protected.
I thought that
Or
was
is it
meatloaf.
or is it
That was
D,
Ireland.
carrots? After commodity spectators in the 1940s exploited a wartime rationing rules by hoarding carrot contracts, driving wholesale prices so high the USDA classified it as a strategic food commodity and froze all futures activity. So
I thought maybe you were
garlic.
going to say orange juice because we saw that in trading places. Wonder what
Yes, we
happened.
did.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That is true. Which caused the Trading Places Act, if you didn't know that, that
I did not.
they ended up calling it after the movie because they recognized that was a loophole.
Huh.
So that influenced direct regulation. So
Interesting.
is it
Okay.
A, garlic, B, onions, C, potatoes, or D, carrots?
Go, Susan.
I'm going onions.
Going
Okay.
potatoes. Going potatoes.
Okay. Susan, you are correct. It is onions.
Go onions.
There was a
I actually
cornering of
got
the
one.
market. Yes, the
Hmm,
cornering of the market of onions. So it is the only vegetable that you cannot, that's banned. You can't, they don't want you to control it.
interesting.
All right, this next one, I am going to be tempted to, I won't be able to pronounce most of this stuff, so you'll have to lean with me
Okay,
here.
great.
The ancient Romans prized a now extinct herb from North Africa so highly that its image appeared on their currency. What
Hmm.
was this herb, and what unlikely modern symbol may have derived from the shape of its seed? Is it Siliphium, which was harvested near the city of Cyrene in modern Libya, whose heart-shaped seed pod is considered by historians to be likely the origin of the modern heart symbol? That's why the heart symbol doesn't look like the heart. It's because it looks like this herb seed. Is it the laser ipicum? I'm totally mispronouncing that. A fennel relative from the Atlas Mountains of modern Morocco, whose bifurcated root resembles the caduceus, which is the medical symbol with the snake
Oh,
running up the thing, which was used by for modern physicians. Is it Garandum, a wild oregano variant from coastal Tunisia, whose spiral seed cluster so closely resembled a coiled serpent that it became the template for Roman denarius coins? And reverse image of that was later used of the dollar sign. So it coiled, it looked like the little S with the little coiled symbol. So it looked like a dollar sign. Or is it Methodianum, a high altitude mint whose distinctive five-pointed leaf pattern was stamped on Roman military rations, is considered by some scholars the origin of the star symbol used on modern food quality ratings. So like if you get a 1 star versus 5 star, 4 star type thing. So is it, I'll go by the symbol. Was it the heart shape? Was it the caduceus, the medical symbol? Was it the dollar sign, or was it the star sign?
all right, Charlie,
I'm
you
going
go
to go
first this time.
Gorindum or whatever it is. That's
The
the
dollar sign one. Yep.
seed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm, I was going to go dollar sign also. I think it's dollar sign.
Dollar sign.
I
Okay,
think
you are
more.
incorrect. It is A, Siliphium. It is the heart shape.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
in fact, what's interesting is we don't know where Siliphium is anymore. So like it doesn't, it was extremely popular. It was like one of the most popular things in ancient Rome, and now we don't know where it
wait,
went. It went
what is it
extinct.
like? Do we know like what they do with it?
Yeah, they use it for everything. It's kind of like an onion type thing. They
Oh,
use it for everything. Yeah, they use it if there's a cookbook from like third century, Apicius. I have a copy somewhere, but
of
You
course you
do.
do.
it's a copy. It's not the original. It's a copy. But if you
You
look at
just
it,
don't read
he
everything.
called for it all the time. Apicius called for it all the time. That and garum, which is like a fish sauce too. I mean, those type of
Hmm.
things were in everything. But yeah, we don't know.
Well,
We
onion
don't
and
know.
fish sauce, you can
Yeah,
understand that. That'd be a good
sure,
Yeah.
mix.
sure.
So I guess the Romans are heartless now.
That's right. They are.
There you go.
Well,
Uh, okay, next question. In Italy's Emilia-Romagna region, again, this will stress my pronunciation. What food product has been accepted as formal bank loan collateral since the 1950s, with a single bank maintaining a climate-controlled vaults holding hundreds of thousands of these units? Okay, so what food has been used as collateral for bank loans in Emilia-Romagna? Is it A, aged balsamic vinegar, with barrels certified from Modena, held in bonded cellars, which employs a panel of sommelier-like experts, to appraise each barrel's value before issuing loans against it? Is it B, Parmigiano Reggiano, with wheeled cheese stored, aged, and insured and monitored, uh, that will sell a cheesemaker's entire inventory at market rate if they default, effectively turning cheese wheels into a regulated financial instrument? Is it C, Prosciutto di Parma, with individual legs of cured ham tagged, cataloged in humidity-controlled warehouses by the Banco de Pazenza, I think that's how you pronounce it, which developed a proprietary grading algorithm to determine each leg's collateral value based on its cure time and marbling? Or is it D? I'm going to totally mispronounce this. Culatello di Zibello, with the high end, it's a high end salami aged in bank owned cellars along the Po River, which began the practice in 1948 after local producers couldn't afford the 36-month aging period. So they had to like basically
oh.
give it in to get the money back to bridge financing. So
Yeah.
is it A, balsamic, B, Parmigiano Reggiano, C, prosciutto di Parma, or D, that high-end salami or
So,
There's
salumi?
a lot
so
of capital
Charlie,
tied up for quite a bit of time.
Yeah,
So
it is.
I'm going
Charlie, how
balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
I just
Susan?
I these are made up. And most of these you can't pronounce things that are in them.
That's true. I
Oh,
can't pronounce them.
so
I have a
I
really hard time with
but then
most
how
of
do you make them up? Like this is like stump the chump beyond anything,
I think
Kevin.
the actual products are for real.
No,
Yes,
no, no, the products are real.
absolutely.
Right.
It's about, these places and okay. Anyway, I couldn't make up an answer if I couldn't pronounce the words in it. That's all I'm saying. Um,
She's avoiding the
hmm.
question.
Da da da
I was
da
gonna go
da
balsamic
da
vinegar, but I
da.
wanna I wanna spread out the chances here. I'm gonna go Parmigiano Reggiano.
Okay. Susan is correct. It is
Way to go,
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Susan.
It is
Wow,
Parmigiano Reggiano.
I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket today.
You are. All right, next
Last,
question.
let's make this the last one because we're running a little
Oh,
hot.
okay, last question. During World War II, the U.S. military commissioned Hershey to produce an emergency ration chocolate bars for soldiers. What was the intentionally counterintuitive design specification to design the bars? What was Hershey told that they have to design the bars to do? Was it A, it had to be infused with enough caffeine to keep a soldier alert for 48 hours, leading Hershey to develop a concentrated caffeine-laced cocoa formula so potent that Army medics were instructed to limit consumption to 1 bar per 72-hour period? Was it
Wow.
B, it had to taste just slightly better than a boiled potato, so soldiers wouldn't eat their emergency rations as a snack, producing the D ration bar, a dense, nearly flavorless, heat-resistant block so unappetizing that troops reportedly tried to trade it to locals who also refused to eat it? Was it C, it had to double as a waterproof fire starter in harsh conditions, leading Hershey to engineer a paraffin wax and chocolate composition that would sustain a flame for 12 minutes, but was still technically classified as food for supply chain logistics? Or was it D, it had to be compressed small enough to fit inside a standard rifle stock compartment, leading Hershey to develop a half-ounce chocolate pellet with the caloric density of a full meal, delivered in a brass cartridge casing to prevent moisture damage in the Pacific Theater.
These are
Good God.
amazing. These are amazing.
I mean,
Just because it's so weird, I'm going to go with the waterproof fire starter. I don't think there's a chance in heaven that that's true, but it is so bizarre and so creative. I'm going to tip my cap to that one.
Susan, you're on a
I'm gonna
roll.
go caffeine. We
Okay.
drug soldiers all the time for performance.
Right. Yeah, you're all incorrect. It is actually, it had to taste just slightly better than a
Oh,
boiled potato.
man.
Yeah.
What's
They
the
were
point
like,
of
we don't
getting
want
the
people eating
chocolate?
just the chocolate. We don't want them filling up on chocolate. We need them to eat the protein. So it's like, just kind of make it a little bit.
A little bit
I
sweet, but not
mean,
terribly good.
they
Yeah.
deserve chocolate. Come on. I would have
Not
been
in the
mad.
Pacific Theater, you really don't want chocolate to, it's going to
Well,
melt all
No,
over
it's going
anyway.
to, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
on the
So,
Russian front,
maybe,
But
maybe.
not in
Yeah.
the Pacific.
Not in the
no,
Pacific.
not in the
Yeah,
Pacific.
exactly. So,
Cool.
all
Kevin,
right.
thank you as always. Great content today. Susan, thank you for your great thoughts and questions. You can join us again next month for another edition of 3Squares. You can also reach out to us via email if you so choose. It's 3Squares Mail, the numeral 3, the letter or the number, the word squares. Let's start that over. The numeral 3, the word squares at gmail.com. And we'll catch you again in August. I guess it is already. Month is the year's flying by.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Kevin, Susan, thanks again. Have a good week, everybody. Have a good month.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in August. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.